I go into Mark's office to show him today's report of my work. He's peeping out his window and doesn't turn to look at me. Suddenly, a low-pitched hoot echoes through the room, the familiar sound of an airship. Our department is located on the ground floor of the university building, so the office has a rather nice view of the small and near garden a little more. Das ist verdammt laut. Oh, sorry. Oh my god, my German. It's fucking loud, I said. But Mark cranes his neck up with excitement to watch the airship that must be crossing the neighborhood's air between the top of the buildings.
Ah, look at that, Tears. What a thing of beauty.
I approach the window and watch the passing airship with him. It's huge, and for a moment it covers the sun, and our area suddenly looks as if there was a solar eclipse. I can't help but notice how Mark's eyes shine with enthusiasm. I smile at him.
This is certainly a great time to be alive. So many things changing so fast. I suppose you don't remember much about the war, right? You know, I was only 2 years too young to be forced to enlist.
That news comes as a shock, to be honest. I count mentally. He's 34 then. Well, more or less what I thought, but he's young to be a professor. He leaves the window and sits down in his armchair behind the desk, leaning back.
It was as cruel and stupid as every other war, of course. But the interesting part came when both sides started a race for a new energy source. Petroleum and gas access was suddenly cut by the third party in the war, so they had to find something else to feed their cars and planes, or yield. You know, sometimes I wonder if they would have ever focused on that if they hadn't been forced to by the war. I'd guess probably not. Anyway, the situation required it, so the governments focused on research and devoted a huge part of their budgets and resources on finding something that worked. So when the war finished, we had this wonderful clean energy source. No more dirty gasoline or dangerous oil-based gas. And now, in only 15 years, look how far we have taken that new energy and new technology that it allows. From completely new public transportation to be able to populate space. And this is only the beginning.
His enthusiasm is contagious. I find myself grinning and nodding to his words.
Can you imagine what kind of new devices we'll be able to develop in the next few years?
I'm not an inventor, but I guess there will be a lot.
Exactly. Alea is just the first step for humanity. Our children and grandchildren will populate the whole universe out there.
I look by the window and instead of seeing the garden, my mind's eyes watching the endless mantle of the stars. That's my place. I'm on the right path now. My chest swells with pride. Mark keeps talking at my back more casually now.
I might sound too grandiloquent, I beg your pardon, but I really hope you share my passion about this.
Yes, sure I do.
And it's true, 100% true. I'm happy Mark is sharing his thoughts with me, and I'm a value as a research team member, but I'm still a newbie after all. So his appreciation really touches me. I go closer to his desk and set my report to his computer using my bracelet. I can feel Mark's gaze studying me closely while I do it, but I keep my eyes focused on the screen. I don't want to come across as rude by smirking at him or telling him off.
Say, Tears.
I finish and sit down on the armchair at the other side of the desk.
I haven't seen you lately with that guy who used to hang out with you in the campus.
I blink in
Do
surprise.
you mean my friend Pole? Blonde, shorter than me?
No, the other one. With long hair. The one you used to snog in the corners.
I blush, completely embarrassed.
That was Nil, my ex-boyfriend. We are not together anymore.
Was he the person you turned down my offer for last year?
Sharp as always.
You are right.
So that's why you came back to me, eh? Well, I guess I should be grateful you two broke up then. I've won a very valuable team member.
I stumble on my words.
I'm glad you consider me valuable.
But, of course, it's also a pity. That boy was really cute. And seemed a nice person. He doesn't belong to any science department, right?
No, he did start chemistry, but he dropped out during the first year. He plays the guitar and sings in the group. He's quite good.
I see. An uncomfortable silence follows. I start to think about how I could see myself off as politely and quickly as possible, when his voice interrupts my thoughts.
I see. If you are not seeing someone, I bet you have some stress accumulated.
The fuck? What?
You can let out some steam with me, if you want.
What? I watch him, dumbfounded. His expression is as cool as ever. Is he pulling a prank on me?
Take it as just an amicable offer, of course. I don't want you to feel stress, or still worse, depressed because of lack of sexual contact.
What?
I don't know what to say.
Oh yeah, I'm too. Calm down, Tears. He's really hitting on me? Wow, I can't help but feeling honored. Dr. Mark fucking Rosal is hitting on me. He seems completely detached, thought. Is he asking as casually as one would suggest having Chinese take out for dinner? Truth is, my only sexual relief for the past month and a half has been on my own, and usually between thoughts of self-hate and longing for nice presents. A rather depressing scene, so I really ponder on the offer for a moment. On one hand, Mark is really attractive with a great body as a plus on his charm to his charm and status. I mean, come on, it's Dr. Rosal. I doubt anyone would believe me if I was to spill that I had an affair with him. But on the other hand, with my body misses in Nils' warmth, Nils' spice, and his soft doth in bed, I don't know if I'm ready for another partner. Although it's been a month and a half, I know for sure that I'm not ready for another relationship, but what Mark is suggesting is just to get laid, right? My teacher pretends to be oblivious in my internal debate, his eyes focused on his computer screen, but now he's waiting for my answer. Oh my goodness. Okay, this escalated quickly. What the fuck? I think he's hitting on us because we are as enthusiastic as him on this whole Alaya thing. Oh my god, I have thought he would do this with anybody. Not just us. Maybe not just us? I don't know. Oh my god. Accept his offer or refuse polite? Oh, come. Oh, my German. I'm sorry. We choose to see all the sexy scenes, so of course we accept his offer. The offer is too tempting to let it pass.
Sure, why not?
Oh my god, oh my god, it's going to get worse. I know it. Mark raises his face from his computer with surprise, painted all of his features.
Really? To be honest, I didn't expect you to accept.
I go with uneasiness.
If it wasn't a serious offer, I apologize.
Mark gingerly stands up and walks past me to the door.
No, that wasn't what I meant, don't worry.
He takes out his key off his pocket and locks the office door. Now I feel uneasy, but because of a different reason. Here and now? He's actually suggesting we have sex here and now? He turns and smirks at me. His hands slide along the lapes of his elegant jacket before he starts taking it off. A part of me still feels awkward, but I must admit another part of me finds the situation thrilling.
So how do you want to do this?
My pulse raises at the implications of his words. Oh my god! We can decide this too? What the fuck? Okay, okay, let me imagine. Yeah, we will be bottom. Okay, we are so bottom. Tears is a truly Neko. Everyone who reads the RE know what Neko means. So we want bottom. I'm okay with bottoming. He smirks and looks me over. Instead of coming closer as I expected, he rests his back against the wall and stays there, standing up while his fingers play with his shirt, buttons reached then unbuttoning them. Open your legs. I arched an eyebrow, questioning him with a glance, but I uncrossed my legs and part my thighs. The appreciative look I get makes me grin, so I separate my thighs further invitingly. Nice view. Will you touch yourself for me? He's definitely having fun with this, I see. They'll never ask for something like this, although a sudden memory of the two of us masturbating in front of each other flashes through my mind. I blink to make the memory leave and unzip my trousers. My dick is limp, but I take it out and caress it softly with my fingers. It's a bit unnerving having Mark studying me closely like this. His fingers have left the shirt after just 3 or 4 buttons, and now he has his arms folded. His naughty smirk is still in place, but his eyes glow with excitement, fixed on my crotch. Two can play this game. I let my eyes go down his body, appreciating the width of his shoulders and the size of his biceps. I guess his arms looks great. I can only see the glimpse of his pecs right now, but the view is very, very promising. His muscles twitch under the fabric as if responding to my thoughts. My eyes keep going down until they reach the bulks of his trousers. My own dick reacts, growing heavy and stiff. I wonder how erect he is right now. The thing looks XL size. Shit, I'm starting to be really turned on. I fist my almost full erection, but my hand keeps brushing against the zipper. It's uncomfortable. So I raise my bottom and pull down my trousers and underwear in one go. I lower them until I can take one of them trousers legs down and off my foot. And then I lift one of my legs so I can place it on top of the armchair's arm. I look at Mark's face in search of a reaction while I fondle my tight bows. He hums with appreciation, and his smirk now has a subtle predatory quality to it. I spat the viscous liquid that has started to come out from the tip of my cock until the whole surface of my member is all nicely wet. And it's easier to slide my hand around it, pumping it in slow but deliberate movements, keeping the pleasure at base, stretching the moment. After all, this is only a certain razor, not the main act. I would look like a brat if I actually felt it and came from this. Put your butt forward, show me your asshole. His voice is a bit ragged when he speaks, and as I do as he says, the edge of his hand starts rubbing against his bulge. I let out a soft moan as my free hand goes to the delicate area around my asshole and begins to caress the skin with light touches. I know in the position Mark is surely having a nice view of my balls and the stretched area behind it. It's strangely exciting being watched like this. A part of me wants to order him to strip and show me his big cock, but I chew on my lips and refrain from saying anything. My middle finger strokes around my asshole in circles while Mark watches, rapidly holding his breath. I allow my fingertip to present against my hole now. It's dry, so I know that it won't enter, or that it would need some pressure to do it, and it would be comfortable to give me any pleasure, but the show works and Mark breathing turns heavier. My other hand keeps working my erection, fully grown and almost painful by now. I haven't touched myself much lately, since I'm always busy with Merc and I'm too exhausted when I arrive home in the evenings. So I would gladly come now. It would be so easy, just quickening the pace of my hand wrapped around my erection and continue looking at Mark's turned on face. But I want more, of course. I want to see Mark the same way he's seeing me now. I want to touch and feel his cock. I want him to come inside of me. A strangled moan leaves my throat when my pleasure goes up suddenly, prompted by my imagination of how good Mark's dick must feel. He finally moves from the wall, but instead of approaching me, he goes to his desk and opens the drawer. I hear him searching and cursing under his breath. He comes closer, at fucking least and knees between my legs in front of my armchair. Here, use this. Unsurprisingly, he places a tube of lube on my lap. So he keeps lube in his office. I can't help but wonder how many students he has fucked here in this place. Only guys? Guys and girls? Someone from our current team? Not something I can go asking about, sadly, but I'm really curious now. I pour a bit of lube on my fingers and go back to what I was previously doing. My fingertip enters a bit now, making me gasp at a familiar feeling. I stop the movement of my other hand for a short while and focus on my rear, drawing circles outside and slightly inside of my entrance. Mark's face is now in front of my middle and showing off a close-up show. One of his big hands rests on top of my thighs, while his other hand is lost somewhere else out of my view. Although I can probably guess where it is and what he's playing with. Come on, stop teasing and stretch it yourself. He's so fucking bossy. I answer before I can think about it. No, you do it. But he grabs the lube and pours a nice amount of it on his hands, counting his fingers. He sits up on the balls of his feet and reaches behind my balls, brushing my own fingers while he starts caressing my asshole with feathery and very there touches. It's wet and teasing and infuriating. My own fingers go deeply inside in retaliation. One of Mark's fingers join mine at last, rubbing my canna, stretching it. I jerk my hips, grunting, feeling slightly uncomfortable but wanting more. He is now so close to me that I can feel his breath on my jaw. His eyes are still focused on my crotch, and my hand caressing my member with slow and careful strokes. I take my finger out and use that hand to grab his thigh and pull it towards me, turning our mouth in a wet kiss full of teeth and salvia. I nibble his lower lip, studying his surprised reaction and fully enjoying it. Then a slow grin breached through his face, accompanied by a mischievous glint on his eyes. What are you laughing about? Am I laughing? I guess so. I can't help it. He runs his tongue over the place a bit, not complaining, but obviously a tiny bit annoyed. Suddenly he pulls me from the armchair to the floor, where I fall on my rear and kisses me roughly. His light stubble scratches my chin, but I kiss him back gladly. This time he dominates the kiss, forcing me to take his tongue and stay put while he explores me. His fingers seem to copy his tongue movements, but between my legs, he is now scissoring 2 fingers, widening my entrance. My untouched dick throbs with anticipation. He lets go of my mouth and starts trailing wet kisses along my jaw and then my neck, sucking and nibbling it lightly. It's good. I can't remember the last time I made out with someone. It feels great. I tilt my head to give him more access, encouraging him with my moans. I hope no one interrupts us now. I need release, and soon. His free hand tugs at my bottoms, and for a moment I fear they will break loose, but instead they give up and my shirt comes open. His mouth goes lower, then nibbling at my nipples until they are purred and red. Another finger is added. My asshole feels a bit chafed and not exactly painful, but not really pleasant either. I know it. I will feel much better soon, so I focus on the sensations I got on my front. I squirm a bit under his tongue, lapping my nipples. They feel hot and oversensitive. I really want his cock now. I'm stretched enough. He laughs, not his usual laugh, but a sexy and low sound I've never heard from him. Would I be able to come from this? He shoves off the hand I had on my cock. I grunt frustrated. But then he stops scissoring me and looks a finger rubbing the exact spot that makes me mad with pleasure. Mark chuckles again while nuzzling my neck and whispers in my ear. You're being loud. That's sexy as hell, but remember there are people working on the other side of these walls. I bite my lower lip, embarrassed. Well, it's not my fault. Who was the one who chose the place and time? Not me. Then fuck me already. Why the rush? Are you not having fun? He grabs my dick and for a moment I think he's going to pump me to completion. I could cry with relief. Instead he squeezed the base tightly and doesn't let go. The movement of his other hand's fingers inside of me keep a victorious and infuriating rhythm, brushing against my prostate now and then, never as often as I wish. My whole body writhes, and even if I try not to be nosy, I can't help but groans and hiss. I lose the notion of time. Mark keeps me on edge, but about to come, but unable to for what feels like hours. Every single tiny stroke against my sweet spot feels like heaven, but I'm stuck there. It feels like being at the edge of precipice, one of cannot cross nor leave. I'm completely undone when Mark finally lets go of my hard-on and my asshole. He positions himself between my open legs. I watch him as he finally takes out his member and pours a nice amount of lube on top of it. My eyes follow the movements of his fingers, which are spreading the liquid throughout that huge rosy dick and pumping it slightly. I gulp. That's quite a few. I part my thighs wide open and think my ankles behind his ass as soon as he comes closer and place the fat head of his dick against my entrance. Oh yes, this is definitely what I wanted. The familiar feeling of being stretched and filled is really intoxicating. I find myself asking for more aloud. Of course I'll give you more, just wait. He grunts and enters me until his balls deeped. Then he stops for a moment to catch his breath. Don't touch yourself yet. So damn bossy. His breath makes the skin of my neck tingle. When he starts thrusting, the force of the impacts make me stop squirming under him. Each charge shows me almost a handspan away, rubbing the wooden floor with my back and bare ass until there's nowhere else to go. I'm forced to protect my head from hitting the wall with my hands. But it feels good, extremely good. I pant loudly and swear under my breath. I don't think I can hold it any longer. Mark keeps watching me intensely, his dark eyes bright and half-lidded. It's a pity he still has most of his clothes on, because I'm dying to see his hard pectorals and wide shoulders, but at the same time it's highly arousing having fucked me while still fully clothed. He increases the rhythm and slows it again. He tries different angles, studying my face to watch my reactions. You love cock, right? A smear crosses his face when I grind my teeth after he hits my spot a bit too hard, making my pleasure skyrocket almost the point of no return. But every time I try to grab my dick, he shoves my hand aside. Not yet. Wait for me, would you? I don't think I can wait much more. I've been at my limit for a while. Mark managed to chuckle, even though I can see on his face how close he is. Come here. He grabs my thighs, then and pulls them up until they are resting on his lap. I feel his cock going still deeper inside of me. I curse. Fuck, Mark. It's okay, you can touch yourself now. Does it mean he's going to come? Oh my god, there's dick. Okay, I have to censor it. Okay, this surprised me. I won't wait to see if he changes his mind. I get hold of my erection and pump it once, twice, with long but slow movements. Shit, I'm really close, this feels too good. Mark plunges stroke my prostate, each time on very surged forward, leaving me no time to regain my breathing before the next dive. I kept my pumping slow, I really tried, but it's useless. It's too much and I'm too gone by now, and the heat I've been feeling accumulating around my belly suddenly spasm. My dick spurts its long, thick load onto my sweaty body. As soon as Mark sees it, he slams into me hard and fast in the middle of my climax. My mind goes black with pleasure, overwhelmed. His cock seems to grow even harder for a second before he fills me up with his cum. I have to close my eyes for a while. I need to focus on my breathing before opening them again. I feel empty and cold all of a sudden when Mark leans back on his knees, panting. The scent of our mixed semen and sweat is intoxicating. What if someone comes in right after this? Imagine the face they would make at smelling this. I can't help but chuckle. I'm glad he had fun, but I don't get what's so funny. He's not sitting on the floor by my side. His chest is still raising and lowering fast at the rhythm of his heavy breathing. I get on my knees and place a soft kiss on the corner of his lips. It's nothing. My belly is all sticky and I can feel familiar wetness starting to crawl down my inner thighs. Ugh, that's something I definitely haven't missed. Do you have something I can clean myself with? He gets on his feet, a bit clumsy, and takes something from a drawer. Here, you can use this. Wipes. He's undoubtedly well prepared. I clean myself in silence, but I can feel Mark's eye focused on me. It's a bit unnerving. We have finished already, and if he stays shut here any more, we are going to attract too much attention, so I hope he doesn't ask for a second round. I'm pretty exhausted and sated already. To be honest, that was some satisfying sex. I had almost forgotten how different and, well, better overall shared orgasm are compared to just jerking off. So when my eyes go back to Mark's face, I feel warm and glad. I smile at him fondly. He has finished arranging his clothes and hands me the rest of my garments with a grin. I hope we can keep this between us. No need to the other members of the team to feel uncomfortable around us. Ah, of course, I wasn't thinking of showing off, don't worry, I'll be discreet. Good. He leans forward and kisses me again, although it's soft and warm and feels like a parting kiss, which I guess it is. As soon as I'm fully clothed again, I grab my jacket and my bag and wave goodbye to him. I leave his office without lingering it lest I start to feel awkward. I say goodbye to the other 2 or 3 remaining colleagues in the labs and call it a day. As I walk back home, I can't help but wonder about a number of things. I know perfectly well this wasn't meant to be just casual sex, but is this Mark's usual behavior with his students? Perhaps only with his team members, the ones he is close to? A part of me feels a bit disappointed at having found out that my hero is good with feet of clay after all. I would never have thought Dr. Mark Rosal would be so unprofessional as to sleep around the students despite us being all of age. I suppose the university administration would turn a blind eye if they knew, being that Mark is one of their most brilliant and popular professors and all, but still. Another part of me feels stupidly proud and satisfied with myself. I am one of the few people who knows about his flaw. It will be hard not to tell anyone, not my teammates of course, but I'd love to tell Poe and Lilla with all kinds of details. Well, not all the details, perhaps. My cheeks are warm despite the cold gust of wind when my mind goes through all the events of the evening. Not bad at all, shocking, but not bad. I wonder if I get to repeat it. A loud ping cuts off the silence of my bedroom. I blink, my mind still lost in strength of numbers, and I'm a bit annoyed at the interruption until I see Poe's name on the caller's tag. I accept the call at once and Poe's face appears on the screen, smiling from ear to ear. Hey man. Tears, yay, I wasn't expecting you to answer. I glance at my computer's clock, it's just past midnight. I ended up staying at the department labs until past 10 once again. So after eating something fast, I don't have much time left to work on my regular task from the university. But it's Paul who's calling, and I haven't seen him much lately, so I push down my impatience and smile back at him. Yeah, I arrived home at 10:30 or so. I was finishing something before going to bed. Oh, I see, you must be tired. I'm more like fucking exhausted. I chuckle and take the chance to stretch my half-asleep legs under my desk. They hurt a tiny bit. Sorry to bother you then. It's just that I've barely seen you this week. I know. I'm really sorry. I miss going to the cafeteria and having lunch with Lila and you, but most days lunchtime passes without me noticing, and then I have to eat a sandwich from the vending machine. Wow, dude, you should take better care of yourself. There's no need to kill yourself working, you know? I can bring you something from the cafeteria to the department if you want. You need hot meals and not only sandwiches. No need, that would be too much. But you're right, I try to go to the cafeteria more often and not make myself so scarce. Good, and you could pop in Lila's or my apartment during the weekend? That's a bit more difficult. Oh, come on, you can't just work and sleep. You need to let the stress out sometime, right? There's a happy hour at the night spa this Saturday night, and some friends from our old high school said they would come. The prospects of spending some hours crammed between sweaty people with loud music and the smell of beer impregnating everything doesn't feel very appealing to me right now. Although perhaps Paul is right and I feel better after an evening of drinking and dancing with my friends. I will think about it. After all, I can't be helped if you miss me that much. He blushes and stutters his answers. Well, it's not like that. I just... I chuckle. He's so funny when feeling awkward. It's okay. I also miss you, believe me. I'm making new friends, but it's not the same. He seems to relax and smiles again. Oh, so is the team nice? Yes, very. Although we usually work alone or in small teams because everyone has a different task. And what about the guy, the one you had a problem with? I bet he works on his own. I nod, thoughtful. You're right. Beal is really hard worker and he usually stays even longer than me, but he barely interacts with the others. In fact, after my first attempt at being extra nice to him, every single time I have tried to talk to Beal, he's given me the cold shoulder.
Coffee? Oh no, thank you. I already had one. No, I don't want anything from the vending machine. Thank you, though. No, thanks for the offer. Sorry, but I'm very busy right now, and I'd appreciate if you...
Oh, I'm sorry. With the rest, on the contrary, communication is easy. Perhaps because we all have a shared goal and are enthusiastic about similar things, but I feel really at home when I'm with my new colleagues.
Hey, Tez! Want to go to the cinema or something this weekend?
Oh, yes. There's that new movie. What's its name?
Okay, he sounds like a 15-year-old man. Oh yes, there's no...
Thank you, but I more or less agreed to go with my friends to a happy hour at a club.
Oh, shoot. That looks way cooler than the cinema. Where is it?
I think for a moment, trying to remember the name of that new club.
I think the place is called the Night Spy.
Quim pulls a face.
Well, that club is really fancy, according to what I've heard. I doubt they'd let me in.
What? That's nonsense. Why wouldn't they?
His gaze lowers to his body as if making a point. Well, it's true he's not hot, but come on.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard.
But it's true. Have you seen someone there that doesn't look great?
Treating that dandruff and spending some money on clothes would help, you know.
You... shut up!
I chuckle. I can't help but agree with Ren, since Quim's outfits usually look as if he had stolen the garments from his grandpa's closet, but I've never dared to say it aloud.
Alright, don't argue. Why don't you get with my mates and me this Saturday?
Quim's face lights up.
Really? Hey, but are you sure they'll let us pass?
I've only been there once, but my friends go there a lot. So yeah, you'll go inside without a problem.
He smiles from ear to ear.
Great! Can I ask Zoe to join us?
I shrug.
I don't see why not.
And Quim leaves in a hurry searching for Zoe. Oh, I think Quim likes Zoe. Ren laughs by my side and shakes his head.
So you have from now to Saturday morning to tell him to buy something to wear on Saturday night, or he will be denied the entrance and will have to endure the worst humiliation of his life.
I sighed.
I know.
We chuckled amused. What have I gotten myself into? It's rather late and most members of the team are starting to leave. I'm a bit tired and tempted to call it a day too, but I want to finish a calculation or I risk not knowing where I left it when I come back to tomorrow. Mark appears at the door of the lab and makes a gesture on my direction. I sighed. What now? I must have made a mistake again. Perhaps Paul is right, and I should take better care of myself. Being tired and distracted and making mistakes is something I can't afford right now. What's up? Any mistakes? Mark gives me a look over and smirks. My pulse starts to race. This is a bit unexpected. None today, at least, that I'm aware of. I'm just wondering if you had finished for the day and perhaps wanted to stop by for a short while at my office before leaving. I'm perfectly aware of Ren's eyes focused on us. I'm sure other team members are starting to stare at us with curiosity while we speak. My cheeks feel hot and I hope I'm not blushing, but a smirk finds its place on my face when I look back at Mark. Why not? He taps his fingers on the door, visibly pleased, and leaves while staying. Fine, then I wait for you in my office. So it wasn't just a one-off, we are going to repeat it. Oh my goodness. It's been a week from that evening, so my body starts feeling hot and tense with anticipation. When I come back to my desk next to Ren, he questions me with his eyes and I do my best to ignore him.